Dave knows how.
Alright, so we got our measuring instrument. I'll run it out, measuring with this end down here. Stick it in the hole. Alright, so we're at 7660. Right there, that one's 9. So I suspect that that is the deeper hole. Right there, the next deeper one's probably straight across. Yeah, that one's 9-1. 9. That one's 9. That one's 7-6. 7-6. 7-6. 7-6. All right. So this one and this one are the two deep holes. They're going to take the long bolts. Okay, so before we put the pressure plate on, this is the new pressure plate. We're going to treat this area where the throwout bearing rides against with this dry moly lube by CRC. This is supposed to be an extreme pressure lube. It goes on and it dries. Okay, so we're just gonna spray a little bit on there, and we shook the can up good before we sprayed it on there. Okay, there we go. That's it. Okay, I don't think we got, no, we didn't get none on this side over here. We're good. This thing, this pressure plate, has been out of the box for just a limited amount of time, and it's been sitting in there beside the tractor getting ready to go in there, and you can already see signs of rust appearing, surface rust appearing in here. Okay, I just wanted to point that out before we go much further. We're going to let this continue to dry, and then we'll get on with putting it together. Alright, so we machined a alignment tool on the lathe in there. Boy, that thing fits tight, doesn't it? Okay, let me see here. All right, yeah, she's on now. She's in there all the way. Just want to make darn sure that sucker was in there all the way. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and set this clutch in place. It just slides right up on top of the alignment tool. And that holds that in place. And now we're going to get the pressure plate. The CRC we just sprayed on there should be dry. And that's going to go up there like that. And let's see, looking at the pressure plate. Now it shouldn't matter exactly the orientation of this thing, but it does matter that these long screws go in the right hole. The purpose of these long screws is to pull this thing down, because you know it's under spring loaded tension right now, so it's pushing that disc out, it's pushing that pressure plate out towards the clutch. So we need to be able to draw that sucker in, and that's what these long bolts are going to do, is draw that in. Looking for the 12mm socket. There it is. Sheesh. All right, 12mm socket. I'm gonna start pulling down each side of these long bolts. First one, we'll just take about a half a turn and then go back to the other side. Half a turn, half a turn. Not trying to put a lot of pressure on it. Okay. And then we'll start getting the others started. All 6 of them. Okay. So we're just bringing up the slack on these other 4 bolts. We're going to crisscross, tighten them. We're not trying to go super tight. We're just trying to draw them down, take up the slack. Go ahead and take up the slack on these long ones. We're just getting the slack out right now. We're not really torquing this thing down. We're gonna get the torque spec, then we're gonna go through and we're gonna torque this thing, and we're gonna creep up on it just like we did the other. Clutch mounting screw, 17.4 to 20 foot-pounds, 20.3 foot-pounds. So we're gonna go 20 foot-pounds. So we're gonna go to 15 foot-pounds first. We're gonna go on a do anything with that one there, are we? Okay. Alright. We're going to 15 foot-pounds first. Okay, we're going to do a crisscross. I guess 15 there. 15 there. 15 there. 15 there. Okay, and then we'll take it on up. All right, we're at 20. Let me take it to 20. All right, that should be it. All right, now if I read that right, clutch mounting screw and reamer screw, 17.4 to 20.3. We put it to 20 foot-pounds. That should be exactly what it needs. But we're going to double check that, look back through the manual one more time again before we go any further, and we're going to make sure that that's right. Because I don't want to have a situation where, you know, I didn't get it tight enough. Honestly, to me, that doesn't feel very tight. It just doesn't feel that tight. Got good tolerance on this alignment tool. She's pulling suction when you pull it out of there. So, pretty good tolerance there. Starting to get a little warm inside this tent, about like being in a sauna. Yeah, so like I said, we're gonna double check the torque specs on that. We're gonna read back through the book to make triple, quadruple sure that that torque spec is correct. You know, see if there's anything that I missed. Okay. I do want to touch a little bit about rust. Okay, so on the flywheel, we took the wire wheel okay? Not the knotted type, but just the crimp type wire wheel. And we wire wheeled all the rust off of it, okay? Made it look real nice and everything, and that's great, okay? That's, you know, that's fine if you want to do that, that's fine. But in all actuality, it's really not 100% necessary. And the reason why I say that is some metal is made to flash rust really quickly and then not rust any deeper than that. In other words, it gets a very light color, coat of rust on the outside of it, and it doesn't rust any deeper than that. It just stays like that, and it actually acts as a protective coating. I know that sounds crazy, but there are some applications where they do that. So, is cleaning the flywheel off like that completely necessary? I would probably dare say no, because this tractor, you know, it's 2005, so it's got some years on it. And the rust that was on that flywheel is an indication that it's that type of metal that just gets a surface rust on it, and then it really doesn't rust any deeper than that. In other words, it doesn't rust to the point where it's really super pitted, because for as old as this tractor is and as widely covered as that thing was in rust, it would have been pitted for sure. It would have been pitted deep pits, and it would have been a pain to I mean, you'd have never got all those pits out of it. You'd got the surface rust off, but you'd have never got the pits out of it. The pits would have been there. So, you know, the flywheel is probably made out of that type of metal, so just leaving the rust on there is probably perfectly fine. I probably overdid it by taking that rust off of there. Hindsight's 20/20, right? Okay. So let's go back and double check those tightening torques for the pressure plate. They call it the clutch mounting screw and reamer. I'm assuming that's what they're talking about, but I could be wrong. Therefore, I am going to really double check this. But that's the only thing listed in here that, you know, that could be those bolts. But I'm going to look back through the service manual and double check. So let's see, not sure if this is going to end here or continue on, so we just will skip with that part of it and just get on to looking through this shop manual and see what's happening. Hope you're enjoying things so far. Let's continue on and get on with it.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.